Hey everyone, it's Book of Katherine. So, I just got done taping that video that I posted earlier this week for you, introducing Can't Hold Us. And now you've seen all my progress that I made. And I just got done taping that for you, saying I went towards the pain. And I came and I sat down to rest because it was going out, and the pain was coming back. And I laid down and I did all the resting, and I listened to some music to get through the pain. And then when my mind came back, I was like, okay, now I can listen to something reasonable. And the first video that popped up was Jordan Peterson. I went back to my homepage after the music. First video was Jordan Peterson. It said Jordan Peterson on Envy and Resentment on Dr. Oz. And I was like, I thought he was on Dr. Oz anyway. So I clicked on it because the last time he'd been on there was really, really good. It was actually the best marriage advice I'd seen on a actual television show ever, better than Dr. Phil. I was just stunned. I was like, this is important. Anyway, so I clicked it, and I can't believe how much it actually related to exactly what I just filmed for you guys and posted earlier this week. And I can't believe how much it relates to what I have been tweeting you guys, what we've learned together over this last few months as I've been writing the book. It's a fantasy novel, and I had decided to use this one story in it that I had read a long time ago because it had just freaked me out. It's a little Catholic girl. It freaked me out. And it had, I can't remember where it is in the Bible, but it's about a prophet who, nothing like anyone tells you the Bible is, all these Bible stories they give you, but it's a prophet that says to their assistant or whatever, he says, strike me in the head. And the assistant was like, no, I'm not going to strike you in the head with a rock. Like they said, strike me in the head with a rock. And the kid was like, no. And he said, oh, you haven't done what I said, so a lion will come and eat you now. Like, may a lion come and eat you. And then a lion comes in out of the bushes and eats him. And I remember that just being shocking to me. Like, what the heck, like, you weren't, I thought the kid did the right thing or whatever. And so the prophet, like, took a rock, or, like, asked the next guy and took a rock. And the guy was like, sure, I'll hit you. And I was like, sure, of course I would too if you'd just been eaten by a lion. But all I had ever remembered was this guy getting eaten by a lion in the Bible after all these nice, Bible stories I heard. Anyway, but that got me started, like, looking into the Bible and looking at Bible stories with you guys. Remember that? And we've been kind of going through it and learning about how it relates to the Constitution. And it's been such a shock for me, right? And learning how just everything we're kind of taught about the Bible just isn't true at all. Like, all these rules were taught, all these things about dancing, and all these things were taught about, rules and regulations, that it's just not there. It's just not there. None of it's there. It's all these fantasy things when you read it itself. Anyway, so I was watching him, and he's sitting there on Dr. Oz teaching Cain and Abel. It's freaking me out. And you know what he's teaching on Cain and Abel? He's teaching that delayed gratification, basically, choose pain now to get reward later. On Cain and Abel. And I'm like, isn't that what I just said? It's just freaking me out. That Jordan Peterson is just so... that the Constitution was written, like, this country that gives us all these freedoms, and the most freedoms of all these rights, the right to own land, the right to say what we think, the right to gather, the right to assemble, the right to wear our hair the way we want to, the right to wear makeup the way we want to, the right to, like dress the way that we want to. Just all these rights, right to drive a car, right to travel across state lines, all these rights and freedoms and all these things to talk to each other no matter what race we are. All these things you can't get in other countries. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like it's all based on this Bible thing. And, 56 Protestants and one Catholic and one Jewish person signed it. And I'm just like, oh, Cain and Abel, really? Like Cain and Abel, first story is like what I'm living out. And I just feel like I missed out. I really missed out. I wish someone had taught me that so that, maybe I didn't get sick. Like maybe I didn't go downhill. I don't know. No one ever taught me this kind of stuff when I was growing up. But I'm glad he's teaching it now, and maybe I'm an example of it. But the pain now and the reward that comes later, and I just can't believe that he calls it the first humans in the Bible. And he says that if there are those who are resentful that the world is built this way, and I never thought about it, but there are people who are resentful that it takes this to get better. And I see them in hospitals. They are bitter. And I don't blame them, because this is painful to get better in a way, but just don't tear down the world. Don't build war machines because of it. Don't tear down the world. Let it just fall on yourself. But it's almost impossible, right? It's almost impossible to be bitter and resentful without tearing down the world around you. It always comes out on others. Always comes out on others, right? I see it on myself. Like I can't help it. Sometimes I take it out on the people I love the most, and I try so hard not to. I did that video, didn't I? I was like, just don't take it out on your loved ones. Try so hard not to. And I realized, gosh, that's what he just taught on, isn't it? Isn't that so interesting? And then he just taught on something else. Hold on, let me see it. That's right. And then he said, set them a task, like set kids a task just a little bit more than what they can handle in order to get them better. And I'm just like, isn't that what I did with my dances? Like, isn't that what I just said? I put on songs that make it more than that's why I was scared to do Can't Hold Us, because I knew it's more than I could handle. Like, I just found another song just now, and I went to go do it, and I was like, it's too far. Like, my body can't do it. I'm choosing songs that are just more than I can handle. Like more than I can handle. Like, I go far enough, the pain, but not to the point where I'm going to injure myself. Just more than I can handle. And I'm like, good God, he's talking about my life. He's talking about my life. Isn't that crazy? Right after I filmed that video for you, explaining it all. Coincidences that happen on my feed are crazy. I love you guys. Thank you, Jordan Peterson. Thank you very much. By the way, one more thing that he talks about, and I'm proof of, at the very beginning of physical therapy a year ago, June last year, my physical therapist likes to brag about me. A year ago in June, I couldn't lift my leg. Like, I couldn't even lift my leg. They were really scared about me. I didn't know that my family was really scared about me. My husband had to kind of cart me in there. I couldn't even pull myself into the physical therapist office. I didn't know that I needed to get this physical therapy done for the ganglion impar block. The SI joint had not done what we'd hoped. It got me somewhere, but we needed to get me some physical therapy for this ganglion impar block to work. And I was really, really bad. Like, I was really, really degenerated. And we got into the physical therapist office, and she was just like, okay, she'd never seen anyone as bad as me. And she just was like, all right, we're going to start with lifting your heel. Just stay when you're laying down in your bed, just lift your heel. And I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. It felt like I was lifting the world to lift my heel. And that's what I was supposed to do, like 5 heel lifts a day, and I felt stupid doing it. And then that was my big thing for the day. And I told my husband, I was like, this is ridiculous. What am I doing? What am I doing? And I was like, this is a waste of my life. I should be doing other things. And my husband just said to me, remember what Jordan Peterson said. Improve one thing in your life every day. Make one thing for yourself every day. Just one thing. This is your one thing. Just those 5 heel lifts. Just do that for me every day. Like, do that for yourself. And then a year later, I was dancing for my PT lady. And she was like, look at this, to the other people. Look at this. You should have seen her last year. You should have seen her a year ago. And I told them, I said, yeah, that's because Jordan Peterson, he said, every day, do it small. Compare yourself to yourself the day before. I'm proof of that thing. Only compare yourself to the day before. I was comparing myself to me, the author, or the champion dancer, or to all of my friends who are so freaking successful in all the things I wanted to do. I needed to not do that. Just lift that heel 5 times a day. And that's how I got here, doing everything you saw this week. So it works. I'm living proof of that. So thank you, Jordan Peterson. You are a huge part of the reason that I'm not in a wheelchair anymore. And quite frankly, the reason I'm still here.